Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, which school is building the most expensive stadium in college football history?
Also, it's Shark Week. Hoo-ha-ha.
All that and more on the way next. It is the RadioU Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Allie, have I ever shared my friend's dad's theory about baseball with you?
No.
The theory that at any pro baseball game, if you watch closely enough, you will see something that will happen in that baseball game that will never happen in any other baseball game and never has. Every game has something completely unique to that game.
Yes, you have shared that theory with me before, and I completely agree with it. It's true.
One of those things, sometimes it's more obvious than others.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more interesting than others. One of those things happened last night, and it happened to my beloved Red Sox. The Red Sox lost in extra innings on bases loaded catcher interference. That's
man.
insane.
That is a terrible way to end a game.
Apparently, the catcher's glove got in the way of the batter swinging, even though the batter didn't really swing at all at the pitch.
Yeah.
But when that happens, that with the bases loaded, that walked the run in that the Phillies needed to beat the Red Sox. So obviously, I was outraged.
And I've
kind of calmed down now, but.
Well, I did see this. I wasn't watching the game, but I saw the clip after because I was like, what the heck? This is crazy for a walk-off win off of catcher interference. Mm-hmm. But it was also a challenge by the Phillies because they believed it was catcher interference, but originally the umpire was not going to call it, was not going to let that happen. Mm-hmm. And so the challenge it was successful. And that's how the Phillies won.
It's so crazy that, like, what are the odds of that happening? It wasn't like the Red Sox catcher, Carlos Narvaez. It wasn't like he was, it wasn't
far
deliberate
out.
where he was anywhere that he wouldn't normally be.
It was just the very tip of his glove.
Yeah. Just barely. I mean, obviously the umpire didn't see it the first time. Yeah. So it's just a little baby bit of a crossing paths.
Right.
Between his glove and the batter's bat, and that was it for the Red Sox. Granted, as outraged as I am, they did have the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th inning, so they were asking for it. They didn't really deserve to win last night.
Right. There was probably a chance that the Phillies would have won either way, but certainly you hate seeing a team lose or win a game off of something as crazy like that. Yeah, it's very, very frustrating. Well, I saw something crazy recently. Now, this was with my Cleveland Guardians, so we're both talking about our teams. Mm-hmm. But they have always had a really fun home run celebration that they change each year. Mm-hmm. And they'll do it as they're like rounding the bases, usually coming from second to third. So as they're running towards their own dugout, they'll like show it to their own players. And they'll do something where they'll do it with them. So like the players in the dugout will do it, and then the player running the bases will do it. Mm-hmm. And last year, the one that they were doing was they would do like a Mario power-up. Fist in the air. Yeah. And that was cool. And they do like a little jump. Well, this year, I just noticed this, and they just started doing this. So this is new. They've changed it up in the middle of the season. They are now doing the Boat Kid aura farming move. Okay. With the hands crossing and the dugout, instead of doing it with them, they're rowing the boat. Oh, the surrounding the bases. So the aura farming has made it to baseball now.
The Red Sox also have their own unique celebration, but they always do it in the dugout.
Oh, okay.
Previously, they had a cart, and the players would ride in it.
And they would take them all the way down to the other side.
Now, this year, they changed this up at the beginning of the year. They have a mascot head. It's not full size like the real mascot, but it's a smaller version of the Wally the Green Monster, who is their mascot.
Oh, okay.
And they put that on and wear that for their high fives through the dugout.
Nice. I always love to see the home run cellies. Like, there's so many teams that have really fun ones. The Detroit Tigers, they've got the big pizza spear for Little Caesars. The Mariners, they've got the trident. And the Blue Jays, they've got the home run coat, which I'm always like, would I want to put that on after getting all sweaty and running the bases? Yeah. Somebody please tell me they're laundering that.
with the Wally the Green Monster head.
Yeah, somebody sanitize it, launder it, make sure it's good to go and smelling fresh in there and not like sweaty old socks.
Yeah, that's probably the equipment manager. He probably deals with that, right?
I would hope so.
You didn't know he signed up for that? He or she signed up for that?
Take care of the home run mascot head.
What I wonder is how many runs do you have to be down by before you don't sell it? Before you don't do that? Is there ever a time when you're like, we're down by 13 runs, I feel like I'm not going to celebrate with a monster head for a home run?
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my
feel
favorite
like a celebrating time.
Right. One of my favorite podcasts asked that as well. Like, is there a time when we just are like not going to do it? Because the Cincinnati Reds, they do a whole like Viking thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, when do we not do the Viking helmet? When is it appropriate and when is it not?
It's different in baseball or in football because they have celebrations, but they're not as routine.
Yeah.
You see players sometimes when they're down by 28 and they'll still be celebrating stuff.
Yeah.
And that feels like a tough look in baseball, but you also can have a touchdown or a sack or whatever. You're down 28 and you don't celebrate.
Yeah.
In baseball, it's like, this is the tradition. We do this every time. Even if we're down 15,
yeah.
Like, do we cut it off at some point?
I feel like it's, home runs, they're impressive.
Yeah.
They really are. So celebrate it.
Maybe you celebrate and that starts the rally.
Yeah.
No matter how many runs you're down.
Yes, exactly.
That's my attitude.
Yeah.
16-year-olds are likely going to be allowed to vote in the UK. It looks like they're about to change their laws to allow to switch the voting age from 18, which it is there currently, to 16. So if you're 16 or 17, you'd be getting the right to vote. Obviously, this is very controversial, even in the UK.
Yeah.
And here, I feel like, at least at this time, we wouldn't even consider that.
No. But I will say the UK quite different in their schooling. I believe for the most part, you're done with your like what we would consider high school here when you are 16 in the UK.
Interesting.
And so their kind of age of when you're becoming more of an adult, a little different there.
Yeah.
Also, this is just for Britain. This isn't for the whole UK because Wales and Scotland already have voting in local elections because obviously not a general election where it would be the entire UK, but local elections, they already allow like 17 and 16-year-olds to vote. So I guess this would be making it more across the board. They would have that age. So it's a little bit more of a complicated situation in the UK than people are probably thinking when they read an article like this or a headline like this.
We're definitely thinking of it with our American minds and our approach, which doesn't mean, like, I don't think it discounts. And I think it's interesting to think about in the United States, would we ever let 16 and 17-year-olds vote? Or what would happen if we did? And my thinking is, and again, like, obviously the UK is different. But to me, I feel like you could get all outraged about this. I don't think it would change that much in the United States. Like the younger you are, the less likely you are to vote anyways.
That's true.
So I just don't think that it would. And there's a bunch of assumptions about like what demographic 16, like who 16-year-olds would vote for.
Right.
The answer is probably nobody. I feel like like what 16-year-old do you know that's like, man, I wish I could vote now?
Not really any, but I don't really know many 16-year-olds. I got to be honest. But but yeah, I just feel like there is a lot of like political back and forth as far as like you're trying to get more votes for this side and you're trying to stop these people from voting and blah, blah, blah. And they also point out, like 16-year-olds, if they are working, they're paying taxes.
Yeah.
Should they have a say in what is happening with those taxes?
That's a pretty good argument.
That is a good argument. But also, those 16-year-olds, they're not allowed to drink.
This is what I was going to get to, too. I'm not as mad about the 16-year-old being allowed to vote as much as I am the inconsistency of when you're actually an adult. And every country is
like this.
Is different. And in our country and many others, it's so inconsistent of like, this is when you can drive. This is when you can drink. This is when you can vote. This is when you can serve in the military. This, way later, is when you can't be on your parents' health insurance anymore. Right. And so there's just no consistency about like when you're 18 here, we consider you an adult, but that doesn't mean you're fully an adult.
Yeah.
And there's some adult things you can do before that. So it's it's annoying to me. But also, I don't like to say this, But I feel like if we were really honest, we should probably make the age older for a lot of things. But we're never going to do that.
No, we're never going to go back.
Yeah. You're not going to have to be 21 to serve in the military or to vote or whatever.
No.
So.
This is interesting, though, because I do know that argument's been made a lot where it's like, well, if you can defend our country, then you should be able to have a beer or whatever. But when the UK was the first, like, kind of to decide on the 18-year-olds allowed to vote, the U.S. followed in suit like 3 years later. Because for the longest time, the United States, it was 21 and older for voting. And then they lowered it to 18. So I'll be interested with this lowering here in the U.K. Will there be a push here in the United States?
Yeah.
I think there's less of a reason here because, again, you don't really get out of high school until you're 18. And in the U.K., that is not the case there.
Yeah.
You're already going into the workforce younger. So it makes sense to me why they would push this younger. But for here in the U.S., I don't think that would be I don't think that would make as much sense. It doesn't hold as much water.
It wouldn't. And then I can tell you what would happen right now is that whichever side starts to go, hey, what if we started letting younger people vote? The other side would go, that'd be the worst thing we could ever do. And there would never be enough agreement on it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you need, for something like such a huge change like this, you need some agreement on both sides. And I don't think.
Hey, that's what they said about votes for women.
Happy Shark Week. It kicked off last night on the Discovery Channel and fortunately for most of us on HBO Max as well.
Yes.
You can enjoy the Shark Week programming that they've come up with. The headline, and you can watch this now, this is so crazy, is Dancing with the Sharks. It's like Dancing with the Stars. It even has Tom Bergeron as the host.
Oh, no.
But it's scuba divers dancing with sharks. I kid you not.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They say it's the world's most dangerous dance competition. 5 scuba diving shark handlers use bait to twirl and guide various sharks into mini waltzes.
Okay, I might need to check this out because that sounds crazy.
It sounds so dumb, but also I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I have a whole breakdown here. It says one contestant wraps his arms around a Nerf shark and spoons it.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Is that a part of dancing?
Yeah,
Spooning?
I don't know. Whoa. Also, another takes off her air tank. Why is it described like this?
What the heck?
She takes off her air tank.
Like a romance novel.
And does a double backflip. A third hip-hop loving shark handler does an old school head spin on the ocean floor as sharks swirl.
A shark swirl?
Yeah.
Swirl around it? Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
I've been seeing on HBO Max a bunch of the clips that are shows or whatever that are being recommended to me for Shark Week are like CGI. It's like Jaws versus crocodile or something like that. And I'm like, what?
I feel like they kind of Shark Week has been going on for how many years now?
A long time.
Yeah. I mean, probably our entire lifetimes, basically.
Yeah.
And I think they've run out of ideas a little bit. I thought they did, and then they came up with Dancing with the Sharks.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected.
Well, I think they've run out of good ideas because these don't sound good. These sound crazy.
But also, over the years, I think we've become a lot harder to impress. Because you can go watch shark videos on YouTube now that when Shark Week first started out, that would have been like, whoa, I've never seen this up close footage of sharks, and now it's just like every child has seen that on PBS, or you know what I mean? It's just not that unique anymore.
Well, but also I'm never not impressed by those videos, so I feel like they're trying too hard. Just stick with what it has been good for a long time.
It's tough. You're so right, because they're trying too hard.
They're trying too hard.
And they try to make this whole week out of it and come up with this weird stuff and use CGI. Whereas you just stick with the good old Coyote Peterson style, whatever. And I'll still be into that.
The sharks are enough. The sharks are entertaining enough. You don't need to add all these gimmicks. Come on.
How about instead of I think Discovery should listen to this. Instead of all these gimmicks, what you need is celebrities.
celebrities with sharks.
They just need to attach some like big names and get them to swim with the sharks or react to the sharks.
That's exactly what Hollywood says they want to do for everything. We just need an A-lister. We just need an A-lister.
What does everybody ask when you tell them about a movie? Who's in it? So if you started talking about Shark Week,
who's in it. I ask, was it good or what's it about?
People want to know. We follow the stars.
I just want it to be entertaining. I don't care about the stars. The stars are the sharks. It's Shark Week.
Get Shane Gillis to swim with sharks. That's what I want. This is what I want. There's a debate on Twitter, on X, that I am just eating up. 8772 Radio U. Basically, I'll just start at the beginning. Started by somebody who tweeted out pictures of Hugh Jackman shirtless as Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Alan Richardson. Can I say that again? Alan Richardson? Is that right?
I'm not sure. He plays Jack Reacher.
Yeah,
Amazon's Jack Reacher.
As Jack Reacher. And this person says, notice how no one, not a single soul, has ever complained about the female gaze in entertainment. And this has set off a debate where people are debating whether those shirtless, overly muscular guys are made for the female gaze or for the male gaze, or is it male's idea of what the female gaze is, but not actually what the female gaze is?
Yeah.
Allie, you are a female. Where do you stand on this whole male versus female gaze debate?
I completely disagree with this guy's take that this is for the female gaze, that these overly masculine, overly like muscular men that look huge are what women want. Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree that it's what men think women want, but actually not getting it right at all. It's not that women don't like muscles, and I feel like it is kind of a personal preference thing, but I think for the most part, we are not really as interested in like the guys that look as if they're taking steroids. And we're more, it's like, okay, yeah, if you have a nice physique and you're taking care of yourself, that's fine. But we don't need you to look like you're the Hulk, you know? So I've actually told this to Nene before where it's like, to me, there's a point where I think muscles actually can make you look unattractive. Like if it gets too big, it looks weird.
So Hugh Jackman, is he unattractive as the Wolverine to you?
I would say Jack Reacher would be me for more me. That would be me saying that's too much.
Yeah.
But Hugh Jackman I think,
looks fit, almost like overly fit. Alan Richardson looks big.
He looks like he's taking steroids.
Yeah.
But Hugh Jackman, I think, is my limit of where I would go with like the muscle man figure, you know, where I'm like, that's just enough for me. It's pushing me to the very edge there. But if it goes beyond that, I'd be like, okay, that's way too intimidating. I can't do that.
I think that's a good point. I also think that this is a tough debate to have because my theory in the past is there's way less consensus among women what is attractive versus not.
Exactly.
Because like people are now and then posting like screen captures of like it's Wolverine versus what's James McAvoy.
Yeah. In a totally different movie, totally different setting.
Yep. And or like people are comparing like Thor versus Loki, and women find Loki much more attractive, like Chris Hemsworth versus Tom Hiddleston. I don't think that's a consensus. I think there's many women that would say
just
Tom
different
Hiddleston.
taste.
Yeah. Whereas guys, like it's much more across the board. Like you name a woman and the guy like 9 out of 10 guys are going to agree.
Right.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney, the classic example. But just there's way more agreement among men. Whereas on what is the the standard of what is attractive woman is, whereas women have much just more varied tastes.
Yeah, broad taste, and there's a reason why like the dad bod is popular. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why different physiques in men is something that women like. Mm-hmm. But also, I will say, I feel like if you look at a lot of the romance novels that are made now, a lot of the athletic builds that are in those romantic novels and whatever is like a hockey build or like a soccer guy or something like that. So it is kind of more of the slim fit type of thing. And I think that is, if you wanted to say like a general sense, like to try and sum it up with what women like, which again is really hard because that is varied, but I would say it's probably more of a slimmer fit build.
If you are, and I think if you're trying to make, movies with characters for the female gaze, it's a tall task.
You'd make K-pop Demon Hunters.
Tomorrow kicks off for RadioU Ohio the Ohio State Fair.
Yeah.
And you've got to hear, I mean, it's the state fair. You know, there's going to be crazy food. You've got to hear some of the stuff that restaurants are serving up at the Ohio State Fair. The Ohio State Fair, every year they have like different deviled eggs, right?
Yeah.
You're aware of this?
I think so.
This year, the new flavors, hot honey everything.
Okay.
I'm assuming that means as in like everything bagel with hot honey, like everything seasoning and hot honey.
Interesting.
That's quite a combo.
Yep.
And deviled egg. Sriracha peach.
Sriracha and peach.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, I mean, I get that. Columbus pizza.
Okay.
I've always been, can somebody explain to me, like I've lived in Columbus a long time. I don't know what Columbus pizza is.
Is it just like Donato's? Like
I don't
thin
think
crust?
so.
Like,
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I don't know what it is either.
Spicy crunchy featuring flaming hot filling and corn chips, a.k.a. Cheetos, I think. We all know what they're talking about there, right?
Sure.
Cranberry feta, but then this is even crazier. This is the kicker. Chocolate chip cookie dough deviled eggs.
Ew. No. No. That just sounds disgusting.
Have you ever had a deviled egg? Do you like deviled eggs?
I'm not a huge fan. I've had them, but I'm kind of indifferent. It's not something that I'm going to be like, I hate it. But it's also not something that I love, which I feel like it is kind of a polarizing thing. So it's weird to kind of be here in the middle, but that's where I'm at.
I feel like they're polarizing too. And I've never had one, and I'm afraid of them.
You've never had one?
I've never eaten a deviled egg.
You've never even tried one?
No.
They're not really that bad. You should just try it.
They scare me.
Why? Because of the devil?
First of all, the devil, yeah. Secondly, though, it's a cold egg. And
You've never had like a hard-boiled egg?
No,
What?
They smell so bad. They're cold. I don't want a cold thing.
I like hard-boiled eggs.
And then there's like mustard, and I like mustard, but for some reason on an egg, that sounds nasty. So I just don't get it. I'm scared of deviled eggs, and I may never have one. Also at the Ohio State Fair, you could get Buckeye lemonade. It's lemonade infused with creamy peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh, gross. What are these people thinking?
Why would anybody order that?
No.
Even if you love Buckeyes.
Yes.
Even if you love lemonade, why?
Just give me my bucket of fries and my deep fried Oreos, and I'll be good to go.
How about a deep fried taco? That is what it is. It's a deep fried taco.
I mean, that sounds extremely unhealthy, which tracks for fair food, but I don't know. That doesn't sound as bad as the chocolate chip deviled egg.
Yeah, check this out. Dubai chocolate is so popular now, right? It's so trendy.
It is very trendy.
I don't even know what it is.
It's like green chocolate or something.
Yeah, but what does it taste like? Is it pistachio?
I have never tasted it, so I don't know.
At the Ohio State Fair, you can get a Dubai chocolate funnel cake.
Oh, interesting.
And so I say pistachio because that's typically green. It says scratch-made funnel cake covered with pistachio cream, kadayif, and chocolate chips. What is kadayif?
I don't know.
That's the other thing that makes it Dubai chocolate, I guess.
I guess so.
Let's see. Anything else good on the menu? There's a jalapeno cheddar corn dog. Now we're talking. It's a corn dog dipped in jalapeno-packed corn dog batter. That sounds great.
It sounds like that's right up your alley.
It really does. They also have Korean corn dogs. All right, the corn dogs are there to shine at the Ohio State Fair.
Korean corn dog.
There's I have this list here of like all the different new stuff they're adding, and it's like 40 things. So if you want to start either getting grossed out or get your mouth watering, text me at 8772 Radio. You say, I want to see it, and I'll send it to you.
Last year, I remember at the Ohio State Fair, I tried, there was like a booth that was making Chinese food. I tried crab rangoon from it. It was delicious.
I love crab rangoon.
It's my favorite thing.
They should make Buckeye crab rangoon.
It's
the Ohio State Fair. It's what you do.
I think it's fine how it is. Don't ruin crab rangoon.
Cookie dough crab rangoon. Let's do it.
Nope. A very exciting in-space update for everybody. Astronomers have witnessed the birth of a new solar system beyond our own for the very first time.
Whoa, that is exciting.
Super exciting. They were able to see this with a combination of two telescopes working together. The James Webb Telescope, which is a telescope that's in orbit, and then also the ALMA, which is a earthbound telescope, so one that's here on Earth. And they were able to witness this, and it was an international team of researchers that have been able to pinpoint the exact moment when planets began to form around a star by using the data captured from those two different telescopes.
Wow.
It was really, really cool.
Teamwork.
The photo of this from the James Webb Telescope is so beautiful. I love it. And as a space nerd, I love any space photos, really. But I just think the photo is so cool. And if you ask me what it looks like as these what looks to be almost like a planet forming near this sun, it almost looks like the two, like if you had like two like fingers going together, and then there was just this light in between in the middle. And so in my mind, with my imagination, I'm like, oh, that's like the two fingers of God coming together and his handiwork showing this planet.
It's
forming.
like this mostly black pictures is that what it is?
It's towards the end of the article. I can't see your screen, so I don't know.
This thing?
Yep. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Let me describe it to everybody. It looks kind of like if you went down to the deep, deep ocean and something was like glowing down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very dark. It's very far away from us. This is about, it's over 1,000 light year away from us, which if you don't know, in 1 light year, it's almost 6 trillion miles. So 1,000 of those, over 1,000 of those away from us. So we're talking,
How did they get something to be able to see that far?
The James Webb Telescope is very powerful. The most powerful telescope that's ever been put into orbit.
Wasn't there other stuff in the way?
Due to where this is, it's like a unique placement. We were able to see this for the first time. Most of the time, there's like this type of solar dust or something in the disk that gets in the way.
Comets and like other stars and stuff like if it's so far away between here and there.
There is, but they're still able to shoot the James Webb Telescope past that stuff.
Like you can't even sit at a baseball game without somebody's head getting in your way, and we can see 6 trillion miles or whatever you said.
Well, this is like if you were at a baseball game and you had one of those really, really powerful cameras that the professional photographers have, where they sit really far away, but they have this massive lens, and they can still get really close up pictures. That's kind of what this is like.
It seems unlikely to me.
Well, that's an image proof.
I don't know how we did
right
it.
There.
It doesn't make any sense that there wouldn't be something in the way, that we wouldn't have gotten a picture of something stupider in between.
Well, anyways, let's just enjoy this discovery
I'm
from
just caught
space.
up on that.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's your proof right there.
I guess the computer could have made this. Can I trust it?
No, a computer did not make this. This truly was captured by an actual space telescope.
What's next? You're going to tell me we landed on the moon in 1969?
We did.
And we can't even get back there now?
That's true.
Seems suspicious. Seems suspicious to me. College football is getting so close. Just football in general, you have NFL preseason about a week from now.
I know, it's crazy.
Next Thursday night, and college football will follow closely after. I cannot wait. This is the closest thing I have to college football right now, though, and that's Northwestern is working on what is now going to be the most expensive stadium in college football.
Wow, why?
The budget for their new stadium has ballooned to $862 million.
Oh my goodness.
For the Northwestern Wildcats.
Seriously, why? Why Northwestern? Have they ever been known to be a football school?
Well, they won a Big Ten championship in the year 2000, as recently as 2000.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're really building off of that success.
They are trying, it seems one family, the Ryan family, is very invested, literally financially, in Northwestern.
This new stadium?
Yeah, they are basically funding this themselves, and they are trying to make Northwestern football more viable and give them a chance in the Big Ten, make them seem more like a big time program and less like a a school that should possibly be relegated out of the Big Ten.
Yeah. I know it's hard to tell scale from just like an image that, is what we see here of them building it, but it doesn't look that big from what I'm seeing.
It is this is literally in the story, it's noticeably smaller by design because they want Ryan Field, it's named after the Ryan family, to be premium for everybody.
In other words, they don't think they can sell it out.
Not a bad seat in the house. But it does feel like $862 million. It's a high price to pay for them to go 7-5,
Right, exactly. That's why I'm trying to understand. It's like, I get you building like a new stadium if your team is super successful and you're like, we keep selling out games. We don't have enough room for people. We need a new stadium. Now, Northwestern, they had one of the worst stadiums in college football for the longest time. To be in a big conference like the Big Ten, they kind of were the outliers where you're like, why am I seeing grass on the side of a hill right now? What is going on? It wasn't even like fully enclosed like what you're used to seeing in one of these upper end, college football stadiums that you see in the Big Ten or the SEC. So they needed a new stadium. But to spend the most that's ever been spent on a stadium in college football, it's like a little bit weird to hear from Northwestern.
This is how they turn things around, I guess. This is the start.
We'll see.
It does say it's the most expensive stadium ever to build in college football. It's about a third of the size, at least as far as seating capacity, of Michigan Stadium.
Yeah, the big house.
But the premium seating area starts 90 feet away from the field.
Ooh, you're close.
Whereas the closest seats, the best seats at Michigan Stadium are 235 feet away.
Okay.
So you are, especially if you're paying for the premium ticket prices, you're going to be getting a much better view and a better experience in some ways, but the problem is your view will be of the Northwestern football team.
Are you getting a better product on the field?
Blown out by Ohio State and Wisconsin and not winning a lot of games.
I'll just be as honest as possible. I would go to the stadium being like, why is Northwestern playing in this nice stadium?
This is really nice that they're doing this for Ohio State football fans. To come to one game a year.
All those fans from Chicago, from Evanston, they want to go see them play.
It's going to be now worth the road trip, or no matter where you live in the country, to go see your team beat Northwestern.
Yeah.
On their own home field. Shout out to Luke. Luke is a legend. 8772 Radio U. Luke just signed up to donate $15 a month to Radio U.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke, for your donation. Listen to what he said. Luke said, I've been listening to Radio U since the beginning. It's about time I started donating consistently. Also, I want Hudson to eat a deviled egg.
Yes!
He's donating to keep Radio U on the air commercial free and to get me to eat a deviled egg for the first time.
Yes, Luke, you have started something amazing. Thank you. Because I was thinking the same thing when Hudson was talking about how he's never had a deviled egg, but he's pretty sure he'll eat it. How he needs to try one.
I feel like there's a chance I could like it. I'm just scared.
You're scared of it. Yeah, sorry. Not that you said you'd hate it, but you said you were scared to try it.
But yeah, I'm just scared of an egg being cold in any way. And the devil being involved.
The devil.
Why are they called that?
I don't know. I think it must be something with the way it's made or something that they call it deviled eggs.
You can't spell deviled egg without evil also. So I'm really nervous about doing this. But for Luke, I will try a deviled egg at some point here soon.
Yes.
We don't have one just we don't just have deviled eggs lying around.
Unfortunately, can't just spawn one out of the air. I wish I could, because that would be instant gratification. But yeah, we don't have that.
How fast can we get deviled eggs in the building?
We got to work on it.
Yeah, but let Luke's donation be an inspiration to you as well, whether you want to keep Radio U going commercial free and make amazing music and a great message possible for listeners around the world, or whether you just want me to eat a deviled egg, or maybe you want to win the JBL custom speaker. They're all great reasons to donate.
Yes.
And you can get a donation in monthly, one time, whatever you want to do at RadioU.com or in the Radio U app.
Absolutely. Join in on the fun. Make sure Radio U stays around so the fun can continue.
Yeah.
Because, hey, we got to still be here if we're going to have you try a deviled egg on the air.
Yeah. The things I do to keep Radio U around. I'm going to try
You really do make some sacrifices.
Yeah. I mentioned yesterday in our box office breakdown, the most recent thing I've been watching is Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service.
Yes.
Which is basically Kitchen Nightmares with different graphics. A slightly different conceit, but it's the same show.
Yeah.
And it is a guilty pleasure because I do feel lied to when I watch the show.
Right. I know you mentioned that.
Especially because I was just watching, there's an episode, it's actually a 2-part episode of a restaurant called Callahan's, which is in Frederick, Maryland, which is where I live.
Right.
And it's so every time it comes back from commercial, it shows like an establishing shot of supposedly the area. And it shows this big, giant body of water, and one of them, like a little harbor town. Frederick, Maryland, is nowhere near the water.
Oh, no.
Even though it is Maryland, so they are known for like crab cakes and stuff, but it's nowhere near the water.
So they just pulled a random stock footage.
That was maybe somewhere else in Maryland if they're lucky. But it was nowhere near Frederick, Maryland.
They're like, this is Maine.
It had to be hours away from where the show was shot. That's just one of the things I feel lied to about. But I do think there's something to learn from Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service, because what happens in all the episodes very formulaic.
Yeah.
He spies on a restaurant. He has an insider. He spies on them. He sees all the rats that are going in and out of the building, the way they're improperly storing their food. Another reason why I think I'm being lied to, because the health department would shut these places down.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever they got inspected, if this was actually how they always were storing their food. But he spies on them, and then when he eventually confronts the employees and the owners of the restaurant, what always happens is nobody wants to take responsibility.
Yeah.
They always want to hand it off. It's like, well, the owner will be like, well, they don't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. Nobody respects me. And the other people will go, well, we just don't have good leadership. Like, we aren't motivated to do stuff because they don't, we're not coached on what to do.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to accept responsibility.
Right.
They all want to blame somebody else. And that is for some reason, that's such our natural instinct, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
To come up with excuses for why problems aren't our fault.
Right. We love to play the blame game.
But when you do that for every problem you ever have, then none of the problems that actually are your fault ever get solved because you're not actually finding the root cause of it.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every problem in your life is your fault. I'm also not going to sit here and say that every problem in your life is because of somebody else.
Yeah.
We have to all be honest with ourselves and admit that, like, sometimes we are the ones, like, there are problems in our life that stem from us.
Absolutely.
Or where we are the ones that have to fix it, or at least figure out how to fix it. But here's the good news. Here's where God is like Gordon Ramsay. He will come in, he'll point out the areas of your life that, like, this is you that needs to work on this. And he will work on it with you. He's not just God isn't just going to come in there and curse at you like Gordon Ramsay and then just leave and be like, all right, now you know the problem, but figure it out.
Right.
Jesus is actually going to coach you and help you and train you so that the problems that are yours can be dealt with. And the problems that come from other people, you can be a little more shielded against or know how to handle those as well.
Exactly. And I think that's so true about, like, we obviously love to play the blame game and put blame on other people and not take kind of ownership or recognize the issues that make
accountability.
Yeah, take accountability for our own problems and the things that stem from our own deficiencies, places where we fall short, where there's many places where we fall short all the time. And that's, as you mentioned, it's kind of like a natural thing to us. It's kind of sad how natural it is. It's like a second nature, really. But God, he really gives you the ability to overcome that. And how I always try and understand it is how Paul describes it in the New Testament, which is when you become a Christian, when you allow God into your life, when you allow Jesus into your heart, it's described as a transforming, a renewing of your mind. So like the old way of how we think through things, the old way of how we address problems, that passes away. And now we have a new way of addressing that and a new way of understanding the issues that we go through in life. And God can help you through that every step of the way.
Yeah, it can take time, but it starts the moment that you start talking to God and listening to Jesus. You will find that things start to change, that your mind does get transformed.
Yeah.
And that can happen a bit at once and then a bit every day after that, because God is with you every step of the way through life.
It's a process.
If you want to know more about that, first of all, you can just say, hey, God, I want that. Fill me with your spirit. Come into my life. Make a difference for me and help me transform. And you can also go to radiou.com/free gift. That's a great place to start as well. We have a person here whose roommate wants lights out, easy for me to say, at 9:30.
Oh.
Here we go. I'm trying to figure out reasonable boundaries with my roommate. She is very sensitive to lights and sounds. We each have private bedrooms, but we share the kitchen, living room, and bathroom. She asked that we dim down the living room lights really low at 8:30 p.m., dim down the kitchen lights really low by 9:30, and that I be done with all cooking and cleaning in the kitchen by 9:30 as well. Well, it'd be hard to cook and clean with the lights out. She works from home. I typically come back from work around 6:30, so there isn't a lot of time for me when everything has to be done by 9:30.
Right.
I didn't want her to be losing sleep, and it'd be good for me to wind down early as well, so I said I would target 9:30, but sometimes I need till 10:30 or later. In the past, I've tried this, but I feel like I'm tiptoeing around the house. I also feel like I don't get to live in the house I would like to. Welcome to having a roommate.
Yep.
I want to be able to read in a living room till I go to sleep at 10:30 or 11. Even a reading lamp, though, comes in under her door is too much for her.
What?
Even a reading lamp in the living room, the light coming under her door.
I get what you're saying, but why?
I want to be able to meal prep or cook elaborate meals a little into the night without being on edge about disturbing my roommate. I want to be able to have guests over on the weekends and hang out in the living room past 10 p.m. What are some reasonable boundaries to set without making either of our lives miserable? We get along otherwise, and she isn't being pushy, but I'm definitely uncomfortable with this with her sensitivity.
Yeah.
8772 Radio U. We need you to step in and decide how to handle this roommate debate.
Yeah.
9:30 lights out.
9:30 p.m. lights out. Yikes.
8772 Radio U. Let us know your thoughts, your advice for this roommate debate situation. We'll see what people are saying and share our thoughts. Let's start with Sophie. Sophie said, I think your roommate needs a sleep mask and a light or noise blocker under her bedroom door. As someone who needs to eat when I need to eat, I think it's unreasonable to set limits in the kitchen because life happens. She also kind of goes on to say, how can she be so light sensitive that a lamp in another room coming in under her door is enough to wake her up? Although I feel like there are people like that.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy to me.
You're right.
But I feel like there are people like that. But do you, when you're a roommate, do you get to control how your other roommate is living their life because of that?
I don't think so. We also heard from Ace. He says, it sounds like she's not willing to compromise. She's bugged by the light coming under the door, but can't put a towel or one of like the draft stoppers. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, put something under the door.
Light. Yeah. And he says, I'd offer her suggestions like the draft stopper or towel, or something to help her sleep in that, maybe
like a mask or
a mask. Yeah. He says he's also sensitive to light and sound, but realize other people need to still live their lives too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was thinking, and you pointed that out. You even if you're sensitive to light and sound, you can't dictate how your roommate lives their own life. And so you need to be the one to kind of come up with solutions for yourself. I've mentioned this several times. I hate how what seems to be something that I feel like was totally normal for me growing up, which was if you have some type of sensitivity, allergy, or something, you made sure you were ready to handle that in the real world. You weren't asking the world to then tailor itself to you and your problems and the risks that you might have in life. And I feel like we've gotten that backwards now. Like we're switching it to the other way where we think everybody needs to tailor their lives to our own thing.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I don't think that should be how it is at all. If you know you're sensitive to light and if you know you're sensitive to sound, then you need to set up something in your own room and environment that helps block those things out. You can't expect everybody to just kowtow to you, you know?
The difficulty is the advice that we're seeing is, there's basically unanimous agreement that the roommate that is sensitive to light is the one that's wrong here. But I don't know that you're gonna be able to, as the other roommate, convince her to start wearing a sleep mask or whatever.
Right.
Particularly if she's sensitive to sound as well. But what I would do is I would test this. I'd just be like, she says 9:30, yeah, sure, 9:30. And you just you got to do what you got to do. If you want to be in the kitchen at 10:30, that's you should be able to do that.
You push the boundaries.
And see exactly how sensitive she is. Because they said that, our person who wrote in said that this roommate hasn't been pushy about it yet.
Yeah.
So see exactly how far you can go with it before it actually bothers her enough to be like, hey, I heard you in the kitchen, or comes out of her room and be like, hey, can you keep it down?
Yeah.
See what that's what I would do. And I mean, you don't have to be disrespectful, but just if you got to use the kitchen, you got to use the kitchen.
Yeah.
If you want to read in the other room, you should be able to.
Right. I think you should be able to. You should be able to enjoy your living room. Now, I'm a person that, I have had an early wake up for a long time, including when I had roommates. I don't have one now, but I would make sure that I would be getting to bed on time so I could wake up in time. Mm-hmm. And so you do have to kind of, make sure and live based off of what you need. Mm-hmm. But I was never asking my roommates, hey, can you stop watching TV in the living room because I need to go to bed or something like that? That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I think don't be disrespectful, but don't
stop living your life.
Yeah, do what you want to do. And I think sort this out. And this sounds like the other person is the type of person that maybe y'all just aren't compatible.
Maybe.
It sounds like you get along other than this. That's what she said. But but this is enough to maybe just make you incompatible.
Right.
If she really is this insensitive.
So move out.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.